Welcome, everybody. My name is Wendell Bedell, host of today's episode 11, Proven Replacement Sales Call Handling Procedures. The equipment replacement or service project work is just like building a wall. Each brick must be laid precisely right, or the wall's integrity, or the appearance will suffer. Replacement or service project work includes all the planning and related tasking to mobilize and scheduling the work before physically laying any brick or replacing the system. To achieve 100% customer satisfaction, the selling technician or comfort advisor needs to understand that their primary job is to evaluate customer and system replacement needs objectively. They need to help the customer make the right replace decision. Therefore, proper communications must be integrated within each step of the replacement call to include surveying, evaluating both their personal and system technical needs, and providing helpful information, pricing, and proposing the best option that meets the customer's requirements. The first step in the selling process is to prepare for the sales call. This involves preparing to make the right impression with the customer. So, as found on page 81 of the A to Z book on residential HVAC business, explains that selling technicians and comfort advisors taking pride in their appearance, having the right, do the right thing attitude, having a clean vehicle, survey tools, extra shirt, shoe covers, breath mints, and a selling strategy that is built into their home comfort certified system replacement upfront price guide that naturally is produced in their preferred equipment brand. Plus, having a company call handling handouts and replacement opportunity assessment forms. And next, arriving at the home. Now, this involves properly parking the service vehicle and checking the appearance, breath mints, and correctly approaching the customer's home. Then greeting the customer by walking up, knocking on the door, and using a firm handshake. Well, naturally, during this COVID situation, you probably want to do a fist bump. And confirming the purpose of the call and present a business card. Then introduce yourself and your company by presenting what the customer can expect from you today using the sales presentation built into the Home Comfort Certified System Price Guide to upfront handle these 4 common sales objections. So first, the sales presentation. You're going to explain who you are and what makes your company different. This page answers, why should I buy from you versus your competitor? Like the fact that we are a premier residential service company, that we have consistently grown each year due to our competitive programs and services, that our company has continued to invest in state-of-the-art technology to deliver the highest level of service with the lowest possible cost, that our written training and employee development programs ensure the delivery of safe, reliable service in and around your home, and how we have written drug-free hiring policy to protect our customers and their property, and how we offer the industry's best installed right guarantees, warranties, and insurances, and how our field management and equipment installation procedures enables us to take care of everything and assume responsibility for everything, and how we are unbiased, independent contractor, not a manufacturer-sponsored dealer, and how we minimize all personal risk from doing business with us through our delivery systems and our liability coverage, and how we guard both your time and your equipment replacement investment money. Next, we turn to the second page of the built-in presentation to explain what they can expect from you today via the 7-step process that you're going to use to get the customer exactly what they want for comfort, health, safety, property, and financial in their replacement considerations, and do so at the lowest possible cost. Now, this doesn't mean the lowest price, because there's a lot of contractors out there that short-change customers to get low. First, by conducting the home use and livability survey to ensure that the customer's personal, technical, and timing objectives are going to be achieved. And second, performing a manual J, heat gain, heat loss measurement to right-size the capacity of the replacement equipment and the duct distribution system. And third, by analyzing the data gathered to ensure proper equipment sizing and inclusion of any accessories to meet their special requirements. And fourth, by sitting back down with the customer to explore their installation and purchase options. And fifth, by backing up all of our work with unsurpassed written installed right guarantees, warranties, and assurances. And sixth, by organizing and scheduling the replacement installation personnel and managing their replacement requirements. And seventh, by precision tuning and implementing a warranty management system and a 24/7 a week response coverage. And then next we turn to the third page to explain why is it that we have to set the standards of performance in the area. Because the page explains how that 90%, they have a 90% chance of a poor installation unless they do business with you. And the fact that studies show that 90% of all installations have problems resulting in unnecessary energy inefficiencies due to too large or too small equipment sizing, improper match between the condenser and evaporator, improper duct sizing or distribution, improper duct installation or sealing, leaking or disconnected ductwork or diffusers, improper system balancing and improper system charging and calibration. Then we turn to the fourth page to explain what they can expect from us during, during, and post installation. Now this page answers, we are in it over the entire life of the installation because customers want to know that your company will be there for the warranty and out of warranty support over the life of their equipment. And explaining how during the pre-installation period, we use our proven home use and livability survey data gathering techniques to enable our customers to provide unconditional performance guarantees. And how we use our computerized manual J home bit load modeling guarantees, that their unique heating and cooling capacities are going to be met, and how our equipment and system selection process guarantees that we meet both their system and home aesthetic requirements, and how we select the most appropriate installation implementation process that guarantees our customers the lowest possible installation cost. And then we explain how during the replacement installation, we're going to assign an installation team that will take care of everything and manage everything and be responsible for everything. And how we specialize in working in occupied spaces and know the challenges, and how we keep our work areas clean and actively plan our work methods to minimize any possible disruptions, and how we verify and test all completed work to guarantee that everything was installed per specifications and according to best industry standards, and how our in-depth homeowner training guarantees that you will maximize your investment. And how during the post-installation period, if an emergency does occur, you're going to receive our highest priority response. And the fact that we respond to emergency trouble calls even during peak periods within 4 hours or less. Then we interview the customer using our home use and livability survey form to complete the job and job location information, and then complete the installed right solution survey with the customer present. This form answers what personal desires and equipment scope of work is going to be needed and how the customer wishes to pay. So on the installed right solution survey form, we first identify their home use requirements by asking, do you have any special heating and cooling room conditions to a home office, exercise room, or an entertainment center? Do you have unnecessary heating and cooling of closed off rooms, or the home is unoccupied during the week, the month, or the year? Then identify their comfort requirements by asking, do specific rooms have odor or stale air problems? Do you have specific rooms that are too hot or too cold? Do you have specific rooms that are too muggy or too dry? Static electricity, dry throat, skin. Does air blow too hard or not enough in specific rooms? Does your system operate too noisy? Then identify their health and safety requirements by asking, do you have indoor air quality respiratory requirements? Do you have any child safety concerns playing in and around your air conditioning and heating equipment? Now again, these questions are designed to allow you, when they answer in the negative, to either take note or explain to them, further. Then identify their property requirements by asking, do you plan on moving in less than or more than 5 years? Are you planning home renovations or add-ons to your home? Then finally, do you identify, to identify their financial requirements by asking, is your equipment past the point of its useful life? Is saving money on energy and operating costs important to you? Is not having repair bills for 10 years important to you? Is working with a contractor that can protect the owner, you, from risk and liability important to you? Do you wish to explore financing options? And then we turn to the survey forms, the system condition survey. Now, this portion of the survey helps to verify that there are no existing system installation deficiencies that the customer should have corrected to achieve a successful replacement. You can't afford not to inform the customer that they require system deficiency fixes. Plus, they gather the existing system nomenclature and pictures of the system layout for the crew chief to review. So we conduct a visual inspection of each room air distribution to identify if the thermostat is working correctly, are the supply and exhaust grills obstructed. Then we conduct a visual inspection of air filtration to identify, is the filter dirty or missing? Are they using the manufacturer's recommended type and quality? Is the present change frequency to the industry best practice? Then we inspect the HVAC controls to identify, are the controls operating correctly? Is the control sequence appropriate for occupant use requirements? We conduct a visual inspection of the air handler drains and lines, and is slime or standing water present? Are the drain lines obstructed? Then we conduct a visual inspection of the existing equipment installation to identify, is the equipment level and plumb? Is the supply and return securely attached? Is the ductwork sized, installed, and sealed per design and code? Does the ductwork have balancing dampers and grills? Is the ductwork insulated per design and code? Is the gas supply sized and installed per code? Is the electrical and the thermostat wiring sized, installed per code? And is combustion stack vent sized and installed per code? Then we turn the survey form to the duct and flue table survey to verify that the duct size versus the CFM capacity requirements to make sure that there's a match. We then use the page to identify whether the supply and return ductwork is large enough to handle the needed CFM capacity requirements. So then we turn the survey form to the inside equipment survey to record the existing equipment make, model, and serial number, to record the existing system measurements for ductwork transitions and utility connections, to record system accessories and or add-on information. Then we turn to the system form for the outside equipment survey to record again the equipment make, model, and serial number. I want to record the existing system disconnect condition. I want to record the breaker size and record the line set size. So next, using the mechanical code checklist, I need to verify there's no code violations that would need to be corrected to complete the replacement. Now, the reason why we want to make sure there's no code violations is nothing worse than completing a job and not get paid because it gets held up in the final inspection because there's no light in the attic or there's no floor that you can walk on in a horizontal unit in the attic, or if there's other issues. So using our furnace and AC coil attic application checklist to verify that the attic lights are by the access. There's a hanging kits. There's a platform. There's a primary drain lines. There's a disconnect type. There's a breaker, and there's gas connections. So I want to record all this information. Then using the outside condenser application checklist to verify, does the condenser have 6 inches of space off the foundation wall of the home? Is the whip visible from the condenser? Is the whip solid or strand copper? Can the pad be reused? Elevated pad in a flood zone. Any obstructions? What's the wire size? Then we sit back down with the customer to go over the installed right solution survey by reviewing their present situation versus their wants and needs, and per any problems or issues found during the walkthrough that we did with the customer. We then get the customer's agreement on any findings or solutions found during the survey to make sure if I'm going to price up a job, I'm going to include those things that the customer wants at this time. Next, we ask permission to proceed with a load calc to verify the system size and ductwork capacity to meet the home's load requirements. And before conducting the HVAC system load calculation, we keep the client engaged by displaying the price guide page in the front of the flat rate price guide. Why we set the standards performance? Because right behind that we have we place some local pictures of poor installations done by others for their review as proof of why we have to set the performance standards in the area. Now, once the load calculation is completed, we compare the manual JCFM requirements to the actual system capacities and enter findings on the heating cooling load profile page. If the equipment size or duct modifications need to be increased or decreased, then we update the installed right solution survey page we did with the customer. Next, we select the best option from the Home Comfort Certified System and then enter the price on the investment option worksheet. Customers love upfront itemized pricing. Now, this page helps the selling technician or comfort advisor to overcome the fifth common objection, which is price. Customers get nervous when lump sum pricing unless it is presented in an upfront itemized logical fashion. They want to know what's in the price. Why? They are not from our industry, and they want to know if they're getting a logical replacement price. Next, we select pricing for any added work where the labor hours and material costs are known. Like, for instance, up here in the Northeast, if you have a forced air furnace system and you want to put air conditioning in the system, you're going to have to enlarge the ductwork because it's not going to be large enough to handle the CFM supply and return requirements. So anyway, you select the retail price from the quick add job adder table and enter it on the investment option worksheet. Next, we select the accessories or system enhancement the customer required from the Home Comfort Certified System price guide and enter them on the investment option worksheet price. Then we subtotal the investment base equipment, installed price, job adders, system, and enhancement prices is found on the investment option worksheet. And if the price is a request for quote, then we most likely will have a price from another contractor because they didn't trust the other contractor. So to increase close rates, I obtain a rebate. We never discount off a published book. We obtain a rebate to get down to your minimum gross profit margin, walkaway price. And we include a rebate table built into the Home Comfort Certified System price guide so you can easily find a rebate close to your actual job price to get down to your walkaway. Now, keep in mind that you cannot raise a published upfront price. However, you can easily get down to your desired walkaway gross profit margin by just using one of the three tiers of rebates. Tier 1 is 5%, Tier 2 is a 10%, and Tier 3 is a 15%. So let's say I'm at 45% gross profit margin, but I'm willing to walk at 30. Then I can use a 15% rebate if they don't need financing. Now, we take the subtotal investment and subtract the rebate from the subtotal investment on the investment option worksheet to obtain the total investment. Now, earlier I told you that in another podcast that if you're the technician who finds a catastrophic repair that's more than 40% of a new install, then 85% of the time you're going to your flat rate price guide without any kind of a rebate in pricing the job up to the customer because it's not about price. It's about get me hot, get me cold. Now, 85% of the customers go to the technician who finds it no matter where you are in the world. However, 15%, studies show that 15% don't buy from the existing contractor due to some form of no trust. That's why you use the built-in selling system to overcome the 4 common objections in the front of the guide and price, you itemize it to the customer. But if they don't need financing, you can give them, say, 15% off to get down to your walkaway at 25% overhead plus 5 net for a minimum of a 30% gross profit margin so that you can give them a $10,500 job for $8,500 bucks. So we take the subtotal investment and subtract the rebate. And then we show that the subtotal to the customer on the investment option worksheet. So then we show the customer just how affordable your proposed option is by first identifying the total energy savings, taking out old, putting a new in. It's in the tables that are in the back of the guide. So you can quickly find that, whether it's a split system or a heat pump or a furnace only or AC only. From the energy tables, and then we're going to select, as close as possible, a monthly energy savings from the home equity payment. You see, most customers pay us credit card or check, so we're just going to use the home equity table to show the customer just how affordable it is by showing the customer that, once we subtract the energy savings from the total payment, even if you went home equity, it shows that they're only going to pay like $57 a month after energy savings. So here they're getting a brand spanking new system. It's really net because of all the major amount of energy savings that's going to offset their, even if they went home equity. So you can show them just how affordable it is. So next we complete the proposal agreement by checking off and reading aloud to the customers each installation item. Then enter the total net price and show just how affordable the replacement option is per the investment option worksheet. So next we handle any objections. Now, if your proposal agreement is not signed before you leave the customer's home, 3 out of 10 times the significant other is going to come home and recommend they get another price. So in those cases, we provide the customer with a which contractor best meets your needs. There's 20 questionnaires, but the first 5 have to do with all contractors. The other 15 have to do with the installation. So this questionnaire helps the customer not to get damaged by using an unworthy contractor. So they're going to use it, this which contractor best meets their needs, they're going to use it as a to help raise the competitive bar versus a low price competitor. So this questionnaire helps the customer to not get damaged by using an untrustworthy contractor, because 9 out of 10 times the customer will not even get past the first 5 questions, since 90% of all contractors, no matter the trade, don't have it in place when they show up to the homeowner's home. So the first question are asked, are you licensed to do this type of work? The second, are you insured to do this type of work? The third, are your installers trained to use power tools in and around occupied spaces? Do you have, so the fourth question is, do you perform drug testing on screen employees for hire? And the reason why I ask that is that, if a contractor shows up onto your property with an employee who's under the influence of drugs and gets hurt, in that case, that employee can sue you personally for allowing them to work on your property stoned. Welcome to America. Why is this an important question to ask? Well, studies show that when a contractor recruits technicians and installers, applicants all across the country, they tell us that if they tell the prospective hire that they do drug testing, only 6 out of 10 will even return. So there's a high probability that if they're not doing drug testing, people are showing up to your doorstep stoned. The fifth question asks, do you conduct criminal background checks on your new hires? Hey, where do you think people coming out of prison work? Large corporations will, bar them. They get penalized because they've, if they're thieves or pedophiles or other, or maybe they beat up their last boss, whatever. But typically, larger corporations will screen to make sure that if the employee is going to be in contact with their customers, that they protect the customers by making sure they don't put people in front of them that could possibly not be of best interest in that customer, to that customer, especially if they have children or they got nice homes, that kind of stuff. But the remaining 15 questions actually has to do with proper installation practices. Okay, so that the contractor realizes that you do professional work, but most contractors can't even make it the first 5. So in our next episode, 12, we're going to talk about stopping inefficiencies with work delivery and safety standard procedures. Written operating and work delivery standard procedures combined with planned staff training and daily labor performance reporting leads to an effective and motivated workforce. Now, some of the main benefits to the business using standard work delivery procedures include helping them harvest more opportunities on all calls because you give your people a path, a systematic path to follow so they're not missing your stuff, and helping them achieve consistent work delivery and profitability. And it reduces work mobilization, human errors, mistasking, and as well as reducing business risk. And it helps eliminate callbacks because when you do a startup on a repair or on an or replacement, you want to make sure that you do it per the manufacturer's guidelines with clean heat transfer services, properly charged, properly tuned and calibrated, but more importantly, verified safe to turn on and leave on for the customer. And if you don't follow the startup instructions, going back even more than 20 years, because that's when they first started coming out, or about 25 years ago, that's negligence. And a lot of corporations get their corporate status pierced. So they go after the owner's money and the technician who throws it, the switch. So best of all, work delivery standards provide your staff with the how-to-do book, job training, making it easier for your staff to get up and running within your business operations and, yes, your business culture. So, hey, it's your future. Act today. If you haven't done so already, please click the HVAC Pro podcast subscribe link and order the companion ebook, A to Z book on residential HVAC business via the 2 links in the podcast description. And again, we thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to having you in our next podcast.